under the blazing African sun, British troops marched into Zululand like they owned it. Red coats gleaming, rifles at the ready. Lord Chelmsford's column looked unstoppable, but hidden among the hills, the Zulu warriors watched in silence, reading every move. The British set up camp at the base of Isandlwana. No trenches, no perimeter, just arrogance. But beyond the ridges, over 20,000 Zulu warriors assembled. They weren't a mob. They were a machine, trained in silence, bred for war. Warriors gripped spears and ox-hide shields, hearts pounding in sync. Orders spread without a sound. They would strike like lightning. What the British believed was an easy campaign was actually a death march into the jaws of a masterfully laid trap. British officers ignored the warning signs. Zulu movement in the hills, vultures circling too early. Chelmsford rode out with half the army, chasing decoys. In camp, Julian and Durnford were left with barely 1,800 men and poor supply lines. They had firepower, but the Zulus had strategy. Using the terrain like a weapon, the Zulus fanned out into the famous buffalo horns, flanks spreading wide, center hidden, rear forces ready to surge. British pickets spotted movement, shadowy forms racing through the grass. Suddenly, the hillside exploded with warriors. Drums beat, war cries echoed. British troops scrambled to form firing lines, but they were already surrounded. From every direction, the trap snapped shut and the slaughter began. Yusuthu, the battle cry split the sky. The Zulu MPs surged forward in waves, 20,000 strong, feet pounding like thunder. British rifles cracked, mowing down the front ranks. But it wasn't enough. Zulus kept charging, diving low, rolling, dodging, screaming. The right horn swept wide and slammed into the British flank. The left curled around, slicing through support lines. British artillery roared, but couldn't turn fast enough. As bullets flew, the Zulu center crashed into the core like a sledgehammer. Smoke, dust, blood, chaos. Orders vanished in the roar. Ammunition wagons stalled. Runners were cut down. And still the Zulus came. Fearless, coordinated, relentless. One soldier shouted, "We're surrounded." And then the line broke. It turned into butchery. Bayonets lunged, spears thrust, men wrestled in the dust. British soldiers fought with backs against wagons, swinging rifle butts and fists. Zulus leapt over bodies, driving Ikawa-short spears into throats and bellies. Blood sprayed the inside of tents. Horses panicked, trampling the wounded. Drummers fought with knives. Officers drew swords, shouting over the noise, then fell screaming into the dirt. A red wave collapsed under a black tide of shields. Cannons fell silent. Entire companies were swallowed whole. At the ammunition wagons, chaos. Cartridges spilled. Soldiers cried for bullets as Zulus broke through. No mercy, no prisoners. Just a brutal, merciless struggle in the dust. Until silence fell again, broken only by the dying. The British camp was a ruin of fire and blood. Tents ripped apart. Munitions exploded. Zulu warriors stomped out the last pockets of resistance, showing no fear, only fury. The imperial standard fell, buried beneath bodies. British soldiers tried to flee, shot, speared, cut down as they ran. A few on horseback broke through, galloping toward Rorke's Drift, screaming of the massacre. Over 1,300 British troops lay dead, the largest loss ever inflicted by a native African force on modern European soldiers. The Zulu warriors, many wounded and bloody, raised their shields to the sky and chanted in victory. Isandlwana was not a battle, it was a message. This land will not be conquered without cost. This land fights back. Isandlwana today is quiet, but the ground remembers. White stone cairns mark the final stand of men who fought and fell. Some call it a British disaster. Others call it a Zulu triumph. The truth? It was both. Here, bravery met bravery. The Zulu impis, masters of maneuver and timing, outclassed a modern army that relied too much on steel. The battlefield remains a sacred place where warriors of both sides rest. British families mourned, but the Zulu people sang. They defended their homeland with everything they had, and for one day, on one hill, they shattered the illusion of empire. Isandlwana isn't just history. It's a warning carved in blood and stone. The Battle of Isandlwana sent shockwaves through Europe. It exposed the arrogance of empires and immortalized the Zulu as warriors of unmatched courage. Against rifles and cannons, they used speed, precision, and the burning will to defend their land. They didn't just fight, they hunted, surrounded, and annihilated. This was no fluke. It was genius. It was heart. It was war at its rawest. Isandlwana was the moment the world saw Africa rise with fire in its eyes. Want more epic, untold battles that change the course of history? Subscribe to Timeless Legend now. Hit like, leave a comment, and share this story to honor the warriors who shaped the world. This is history as it really happened.